A very warm welcome to all of you to my channel Mechanical Engineers. In this tutorial we are going to see the first part of Bobcat Loader, that is main body. So let's start with. First click on the right bottom plus button and create a document named as Bobcat Loader. Then you can see that the interface will be opening. Okay, it's opening the document. Yes, you can see the three planes. Select right plane for the sketching. Before that, give a rename to the part, that's main body. Now choose right plane, select it and start sketching. First sketch a center point rectangle from the origin. Yes. Now select units from the menu bar and convert in appropriate units, that is distance in millimeter, angle in degree, and weight in kilograms. So give the dimensions, that is 1800 millimeter length, and zoom out to view it properly. Okay. The other dimension is 735 millimeters. Okay, the rectangle is fully defined, you can see. Now select a line and join the two sides of the rectangle by means of a line. Now let's define the line by giving dimensions. This dimension is 150 millimeters and the other dimension is also 150 millimeter. Okay. Repeat the procedure on the other side. Select line, draw it on the two sides and define it. Now check the dimensions properly. The dimensions are not same on the right side. It is 135 by 220. Okay, yeah. Now remove the unwanted part from the sketch by using a trim tool. Yes, remove that part. Okay. Now we are going to sketch a circle at a distance 150 millimeters. So from this point we are going to construct two circles. This is first circle and let me draw the other circle at some offset of the previous circle. Okay, it's ready. Now let's define them from the sides and their diameters. Firstly, the diameters of both the circles are 100 millimeter and the distance of the first circle from the right side is 540 millimeters. Okay, 540 millimeters. Yes, it is defined. Now define the other circle from the first circle. So give the dimension, select the centers of both the circle and give the dimension as 1030 millimeters. Okay, drag and drop the dimensions so that you can view the sketch properly, and view sketch is ready to extrude. So from the features which we have selected extrude, and we are extruding the sketch. As you can see the preview of the extrude, and extrude up to 1000 millimeter depth, symmetric to the plane. Yeah, it is extruded. Now let's change the appearance of the material. We are going to give the appearance of yellow color. So red is up to 255 proportion. You can just edit these numbers to get the proper color combination. It's 37 blue. Okay, the yellow color is been applied to the material. Now select the right view in order to sketch the second sketch. So we have selected a right face. We are going to sketch the second sketch by using use tool from sketch toolbar. We have selected two sides, and now we are going to select line in this way. Okay, this is inclined line. Again, there is another inclined line. Now select a center point arc here. Yes, from the center of that circle, yeah, from where there we are going to construct a center point arc. Arc has been constructed. Okay, now select the tangent arc, that is point tangent arc. Select this point, the end point of the first arc, and join it to the other side. Okay, now let's define them one after other. Choose the dimension tool. Oops, it is been constructed in the other side. Let me remove it. Delete the dimension. Use the trim tool and remove the arc, that is tangent arc. Once again we are going to draw this arc in the opposite direction. Okay, selected the end point, and now the direction is in the opposite way. Okay, yep. Now let's define them. Yeah, the diameter should be 40 millimeter, that is radius is 20 millimeter. And now it's time to make a relation between the center point and side, make them coincident. Give the dimension to the center point arc as 400 millimeter. Now as you can see, both the arcs are defined. Now it's time to define other dimensions. So this side will be 1240 millimeters. Okay, and the side perpendicular to this should be 280 millimeters. Okay, again give 175 millimeter vertical distance between these 2 points, and we are going to give some dimensions between the center point and those points. Actually we want horizontal dimension, but we will construct, for that purpose, let's delete this. We are going to construct a line through that point so that we can actually define the horizontal distance. Okay, I have selected this point and have done with the sketch of the line. Now let's define the horizontal dimension. Select that point and the vertical line we have constructed, and give the dimension up to 150 millimeter, since we wanted 75 center to center distance. Now this dimension should be 35 millimeter. Okay, it seems the sketch is ready. Hit the check mark and the sketch will be completed. Now use the extrude tool and extrude up to 10 millimeters in the outside dimension, but we need to change some part of the sketch, so that we are going to edit. Use the fillet tool and add 3 points, that is first point is this point, and give the fillet up to 100 millimeter. Okay. The second point is this, and last point is the third point, that is 100 millimeter fillet has been given, and hit the check box. The changes will be made into the extrude. Okay, once again we are going to select a right plane and a right face, that is currently extruded face, to sketch number 3. Again we have used the use tool from the sketch toolbar, and we are going to select each and every entity, that is 2 arcs, 2 sides, and other parts of the previous sketch. Okay, this is selected. Now let's use the offset tool in order to create offset of this sketch. So select this line, it shows that offset is in opposite direction. Change the direction and give offset up to 10 millimeters. Hit the checkbox. Repeat the procedure for the other sides and other parts of the sketch. Okay, we have done it, the 10 millimeter offset. Inside it is 10 millimeter. Select the tangent arc. Selected the tangent arc. After that we are going to select the center point arc, and also the offset distance is 10 millimeters. Again, choose the region of fillet in opposite direction, make it 10 millimeters. Select the remaining part, that is last part, which is a line, and extrude, give it offset up to 10 millimeter. Okay, now let's define those points. We have selected this point to give some extension. Yes, we have given extension, and now let's define them from that side. A dimension cannot be created. Okay, let's try once again. Nope. So let's use the use tool, and now the dimension will be given. So select that side and the point, and yes, we can give the dimension, and the dimension is 11 millimeters. Okay. Now just click on the blue end point of the other side and just drag and drop it on the used line. Yes, now it is also defined, and just connect these two by means of a line. Yes, now you can see the sketch is almost ready, and we can just extrude it. So it will be our third extrude. We have selected the sketch one by one, since the sketch is divided into some regions, so it will be the multiple selections. Just to check whether the sketch is properly selected, turn on the isometric view so that you can get the idea. Yes, the sketch is selected, and we are going to give the extrusion up to 90 millimeters. We have done with the extrusion. Hit the checkbox. Again, choose the right plane and repeat the procedure. That is, choose the previous part of the sketch and use it in the next sketch, or simply you can just touch on the face that you want to be the part in the next sketch. Hit the checkbox. Fourth sketch is almost ready. As you can see in this isometric view, we have selected the sketch and started the extrusion, but at this time we are going to extrude in the reverse direction, and extrusion depth is 10 millimeters. Alright, the extrusion is completed, and hit the checkbox. Yes, it's almost fine. Okay. Now simply we want to make a mirror of this point, so we are going to construct a plane which is at the offset distance from the right face. Okay, we want it in the other dimension or other direction. It should be at 500 millimeters from this face. The plane is ready. Hit the checkbox. Now go to the mirror entities, and as you can see that it asks for the parts to mirror, but we want a feature pattern. That is, we are going to make mirror of the feature, that is extrude feature. So simply we have selected the feature mirror, and now we are going to select the features, that is extrude 4, extrude 3 and extrude number 2. Okay, these entities have been selected. Now it will be asking for the plane to mirror about. So select the plane which is at the offset distance 500 millimeter, plane number 1, and as you can see here, these entities have been mirrored on the other side. Yes, we have done with it. Hit the checkbox and escape the feature. Now let's select the right plane once again, as some part of the sketch is to be done on this face. Again, the same procedure we have used some part of the previous sketch. Here we are going to construct 2 circles which will be removing some area of this face. So go to the circle and from the center point of this fillet construct a circle. Oops, it is already defined, so I don't want it to be defined. I want manual dimension which is about 80 millimeters diameter. Again, construct another circle from this side. Give it the dimensions to get it defined. First, distance from this side about 60 millimeters, and the distance from the bottom side will be 62, and the diameter of 30 millimeter. The diameter has been defined. Distance from the base, select this base line, again the center of this circle, and make them 62 millimeters, sorry, 62 millimeters. Yes. Okay, as you can see, the sketch is ready, and exit the sketch. Select these circle regions in order to make extrusions and in order to remove the part of that entity. Okay, remove, and end type will be through all. As you can see by zooming it out, the region has been extruded out. That means we have done with the cut of the extrude. Let's select the top plane to construct next sketch, that is sketch number 6. Select a corner point rectangle and give the dimensions as 100 millimeters and 1000 millimeter. Again, it is not fully defined. One dimension is 250 millimeter. Now you can see it is fully defined, although we are going to make a fillet at its corners. So select both the sides and make the fillet up to 100 millimeters on both the corners. Okay, simply we are going to reflect this part of the sketch onto the other side. So simply select a construction line from the center point. It is not merged with the center. Let's make them coincident. So for that purpose, yeah, coincident has been done, and we have selected the mirror line in order to make the mirror of this part. So select part one by one, and the mirror is done. Simply exit the sketch, use the part of the sketch to extrude, extrude it in the downward direction, that is in opposite direction, up to 20 millimeters. Yes, the extrude is completed. Now once again select top plane and top face of the part and select again corner point rectangle. Construct on the one side a corner point rectangle. Give it dimensions. Select the side to the top side, which is 200 millimeter distance. The length is 200 millimeter and the dimension from the other side is 10 millimeters. Okay, so it is a rectangle with a 200 millimeter length and 10 millimeter width, and from the right side it is at distance of 30 millimeters. Now the rectangle is fully defined. As you can see, it appears to be black. We are going to simply mirror that rectangle, so we have constructed a mirror line through the origin. Simply go to the mirror tool, select line on which side we are going to mirror that part or the sketch. Select the part of the sketch which should be mirrored. Select one by one sides. From the top view you can see the entity is mirrored. Go to the extrude feature, select them both. I have selected this region and again the other region. Okay, click on it to select. You can see two entities are selected. Here change to the remove and end type should be through all. From the isometric view also you can observe whether it is extruded properly or not. Let's use a linear pattern, which is a feature pattern, and select the feature to be patterned in a linear direction. Also give the direction to the feature and distance, center to center distance of that part. Again, instances should be 14 in that direction. As you can see, a pattern is been created in the vertical direction. Alright, next move to the next sketch. Again selected the top face. Draw a center point rectangle linear from the origin, and its dimensions are 100 millimeter from the base. Its width is 200 millimeter. The length is 500 millimeter and it is fully defined. Alright, now it's time to extrude that part of the sketch. Select the region to be extruded. Give the depth up to 253 millimeters. 253 millimeters in the vertical direction and exit. Now select the right plane and the face of the part that we have constructed right now. Select a line from the sketch toolbar and connect these two sides by the line. Again choose a corner point rectangle and sketch it on this face. Now let's define them. This distance is 140 millimeter and that distance is 70 millimeters. Again the vertical distance is 150 millimeter for the rectangle and its horizontal distance is 70 millimeters. Both of them are defined, and let's connect these points in order to make a closed entity and in order to remove some part by means of the extrusion. Yes, now as you can see, the triangle is closed, and now we can select both of them and make an extrusion, that is removed some part of that constructed feature, and end type should be through all, that is all the parts should be removed. As you can see in this isometric view, everything is removed. Now go to the select this face and every face in order to give some fillet to that selected entity. Okay, it has up to 8 faces, so I am selecting one by one. Ensure that every face is selected. Go to the fillet and choose the radius up to 15 millimeters. Okay, the fillet is applied to that part successfully. Exit the fillet. Now select the left plane, this face, and start a sketch. Go to the feature pattern and select a plane which is to be offsetted at a distance 60 millimeters from this face, but the direction should be inside. Yes, you can see the plane is ready. Just select this plane in order to make sketch. Go to the left view to see it properly. Construct, first of all select this face and make it usable in your sketch. Select a line, construct this line in this way, and let's define them. First of all, the bottom side should be up to 72 millimeters and 70 millimeters, sorry. Then the top side is 150 millimeters. And delete, because it is previously defined, we cannot define it again. Select the angle between those two. This angle should be 100 millimeter. For that purpose, select the two sides between which you are going to select the degree, that is angle. This dimension is 140 degree. Still not, the part is not defined properly. So for that purpose, give this dimension which is 100 millimeter. Now zoom out to see whether the sketch is defined properly. As you can see, it is black in color and the sketch is defined. Exit the sketch. Again, we are going to select a point normal plane. So that purpose, select a feature plane, make it a point normal. Select this point and this line, and you can see a plane is been drawn there. Go to the toolbar, select that plane and start constructing. For that purpose, select that end point and use it in the sketch. Draw a circle, give it a dimension up to 10 millimeters. As you can see, the circle is defined. Exit the sketch and go to the feature toolbar, use a sweep tool, select a region, starting region, that is initial region, and the path of that sweep, that is obviously these two lines. And you can see the sweep is created, but we want a new sweep, that is new part. in order to get a better view. And now select this face and start a construction. Selected that circle and made use of it in the sketch, and drawn another circle and making it concentric with the previous circle and giving it dimension to be 17 millimeter. Okay, now it's time to extrude that thing. So for that purpose, first edit it properly in order to delete the firstly selected circle. Now selected this and this face to extrude add, and the depth of extrude is 30 millimeters. As you can see, it has been extruded in that direction. And let's apply a fillet on the top side, which is fillet of radius 9 millimeters. 5 millimeters. Yes, since it was not applying the fillet of 9 millimeter, we have given it 5 millimeter. Again, we are going to make a pattern of this sweep and the extrude we have done before. Selected all the parts and giving the offset distance up to 30 millimeter, and instances should be 3 instances in the perpendicular direction. And you can see we have made a linear pattern of that part. Again, go to right plane and start sketching. Here also use some part of the previous sketch, but before this, use some part before starting any construction. Yes, we have used it. Now go to the line, draw a geometry as shown at your screen. This geometry is for the purpose of support to the steering system. Yes, the geometry is done. Now let's define it. First, make the two lines parallel. Whatever the sides are on the other sides of each other, make them parallel. Yes, now go to the dimension tool, give the dimension to the sides, so 101 millimeter. Distance from that point is 34 millimeter. Distance between these parallel lines is up to 70 millimeters. But before that, give this dimension 50 millimeter. Make them parallel, ensure that they are parallel. This dimension is 70 millimeter. Again, this dimension should also be 70 millimeters. Now let's define the angle between these lines in order to complete the sketch. Angle should be 151 degree. As you can see, every part of the sketch becomes black after defining it properly. Let's make extrusion from that region of the sketch. Give the depth up to 70 millimeter and keep it blind. As you can see, the extrusion has been created. Select the top face to make construction of another sketch. Now, in order to get a center point, select this center point. I mean to say, just go towards it and it will show you the direction. Also, this will show you direction and you get the center point. We have done with the circle, and let's define the dimension, that is diameter to this circle. Diameter of this circle should be 25 millimeters. Okay, let's, yes, it is 35. It is already defined, there is no need to define it. And now we are going to make extrusion from it, add some part to this feature, that is 30 millimeter. Yes, extrusion is completed. Again select the top face and start the sketching by using the original circle and construct another circle and give it the dimension up to 60 millimeters. This will be the inner circle of our steering wheel. Again start a circle from the center point, and now last circle. Okay, give them dimensions properly. It is up to 270 millimeters. Zoom out to view the circle. Yes, the circle is that much big, as you can see, and give the dimension between the outer two circles as 18 millimeters. And we are just going to select a close boundary for that wheel. So make use of a construction line from the center of these circles to the outermost circle. Select line and construct a line which is parallel to that constructed line. Use the dimension tool to give the dimension between the center line and constructed line as 18 millimeter. Just mirror that line. For that purpose, use the mirror entity feature. The entity is mirrored. Now we are going to use a feature which is a circular pattern. We have selected this line and move that center of that circular pattern towards the center of our wheel. As you can see, we have dragged the center towards the center of our wheel and the line is constructed. Again, use another line and make it a circular pattern of 3 instances. The same procedure is there. We have dragged the center of circular pattern towards the center of our wheel. Yes, deselect the circular pattern and the pattern is created. Now removing the unwanted part of the sketch. For that purpose, we use a feature, trim feature, and one by one we are going to remove the unwanted part. Here, remove this part of the sketch. Okay, removed successfully. Now hit the check mark on the right side of your sketch 15 and the sketch is ready to extrude. Select the close region of our sketch and also this region, this face, this need to be extruded. We want it to be a new extrusion since its color should be different. Give the depth up to 30 millimeter and in blind direction. The appearance was not given, so before that let's edit it to new. As we have made it new, the new color will be applied to this feature, and let's apply fillets to both of the faces of the steering wheel in order to make it visible as a round and not as a extrusion. Yes, the fillet radius should be 9 mm now. Okay, the fillet is applied successfully and now you can see it is round in shape. Again, go to the appearances, give the proper color to our steering wheel. I am using a black color for the steering wheel, which is 60-60-60 proportion of red, green and blue. Go to the isometric view, hide all the parts, that is all the features, that is planes and sketches, in order to view our created part properly. Origin is still visible, origin, top, front, right plane, everything is been hide. Still one plane is remaining, make it invisible also. This plane is invisible, but it is not that plane. Okay, this is how we are done with the first part, that is main body of the Bobcat Loader. In the upcoming videos we will be modeling the other parts of the Bobcat Loader. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thanks once again.